This is home. Twin States News starts right now.
We are at the peak of severe weather season in our area. Knowing what to do and how to prepare properly can keep you and your loved ones safe. Tonight, Twin States News' Donisha Branham has more on severe weather preparedness.
The month of April is on average one of the most active for tornadoes in Mississippi. In the last several weeks, the Queen City has had its fair share of severe weather, from tornadoes, wind damage, and even flash flooding. The public safety director gives tips on how to stay ahead and be prepared for incoming bad weather.
With March, April, and May being the peak season of our severe weather, it's very important that people have multiple ways to receive notifications of severe weather. That's one of the key factors in any preparedness is the notification process.
Most weather alerts are sent out by the National Weather Service, from tornado watches to a tornado warning. Knowing the difference is crucial.
Watch is a general area that the National Weather Service puts out a watch that says conditions are favorable for severe weather, whether it be tornado warnings, thunderstorm warnings, things like that. And once you transition from a watch to a warning is a much more isolated area. Most of the time they're put out by counties. And that means that there is either radar indicated or there's actual spotting of severe weather that's causing damages.
If you find yourself in the midst of severe weather, Stevens says having a plan of action is another critical aspect to be prepared.
Have a plan. Know your safe areas. Know a location that you can go if you live in a mobile home that's a more sturdy structure for you to be in and you and your family.
Remember, during a tornado warning, do not leave your safe place until the tornado warning has expired for your area. Donisha Branham, Twin States News, Meridian.
Severe weather rolled through Mississippi early this morning, causing some damage. In Covington County, there was widespread damage. Residents were out cleaning up debris and fallen trees in their yards and in the road. The owners of Salem Opry House Restaurant said a portion of their roof blew off their building. Utility crews could be seen clearing the damaged power poles and restoring electricity. Just a few miles away, authorities say the driver of this truck hit a tree that fell in the road. The driver then hit a car. Both vehicles sustained major damage. One person was taken to the hospital to be treated for injuries. Lauderdale County supervisors will hold a public hearing on April 18th to discuss and maybe even vote on whether the county will opt out of the state's medical marijuana program. Mississippi became the 37th state to adopt the legislation in February, but city officials have the say on whether to enact the law. If the board does not opt out, the law will automatically take effect after May 3rd. That hearing begins at 10 a.m. Today at the Justice Court, Tommy Horn, Lauderdale resident and attorney, returned from deployment and hosted a small personal ceremony for all 4 Justice Court judges and clerk.
I wanted to honor the court and the clerk staff on the job that they've been doing and continue to do for our county, and also for supporting me while I was away deployed to Iraq and Kuwait this past year.
Horn presented the judges with the flag that flew over Kuwait as a way to honor the court. Recruiting great educators. The Choctaw Tribal Schools in Philadelphia working to do just that at a teacher recruitment fair on Monday. Twin States News' Jasmine Stevenson was there.
Choctaw Tribal Schools Superintendent Randy Grierson says the career fair is a way for schools to keep a database of great teachers.
Every year, your goal is to provide the best opportunity you can for every student. And so every year you're going to have teachers that retire, that may move for whatever reason. And so our job is to provide the best opportunity we can for every student.
Shatamia Fulton, who is currently student teaching, came out to the fair in hopes of landing a job.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. I always dreamed of being a teacher, and I would like to work for a school that supports its teachers, stand behind their teachers, a progressive school. And I know the schools here have a lot going on, and they represent everything that my philosophy of education.
Suzanne Hyde, principal of Pearl River Elementary, says the importance of a teacher could never be overstated.
Oh, teachers are so important to students' life. They are their encourager, they are their supporter, they take care of them, they teach them, and they love them. The importance of a teacher just cannot be overstated. They are so valuable and so important for our children.
Governor Reeves recently signed in the highest pay raise for instructors in Mississippi's history. Choctaw Tribal Schools has always tried to stay in competition with the state's pay.
Well, last year when the teacher did the pay raise, I got with our tribal council and Chief Ben, and we increased our teacher pay raise to about $1,200 above where the state was going. The reason we did that is we were trying to be proactive because there was still talk about a bigger pay raise coming, and so we were trying to be proactive and go ahead and jump ahead of that as much as we could.
Grierson says the council is going to do everything they can to stay competitive with the state's pay for teachers. Jasmine Stevenson, Twin States News, Choctaw.
Ukrainian forces continue to take back territory as Russian troops retreat, and Ukraine's president makes a new plea to the United Nations. Alex Hogan has the story, and we want to caution you, this report has sensitive images some viewers may find disturbing.
Ukrainian forces taking back more territory on day 41 of the Russian invasion. They've now retaken key terrain and forcing Russian troops north away from the capital. But NATO warns that Moscow is not giving up yet. It's expected their forces will regroup in Belarus before refocusing on taking more territory in the east.
In the coming weeks, we expect a further Russian push in the eastern and southern Ukraine to create a land bridge to occupied Crimea.
The repositioning comes a day after Ukraine accused Russia of war crimes, including genocide, for allegedly executing hundreds of civilians in the suburbs around Kyiv. The UN Security Council holding an emergency meeting Tuesday morning with Ukraine's president calling for Moscow to face serious consequences.
This undermines the whole architecture of global security. It allows them to go unpunished. So they are destroying everything that they can't.
The Russians are still insisting this is a false flag operation by Ukraine designed to frame Russia. But these newly released satellite images taken weeks ago before the Russians pulled out shows bodies of civilians in the streets, raising serious doubts about the credibility of Moscow's claim.
The brutality, the targeting of the civilians really underscores that this is so concerning. The victims were directly targeted and directly killed.
NATO's Secretary General says that allies will meet to discuss the delivery of advanced weapons sent to Ukraine, including anti-tank missiles. In Lviv, Ukraine, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley tells Congress the U.S. should develop more military bases in Eastern Europe and staff them with rotational forces. Milley and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin testified on Capitol Hill today before the House Armed Services Committee.
And I believe that a lot of our European allies, especially those such as in the Baltics or Poland or Romania or elsewhere, they are very, very willing to establish permanent bases. They'll build them, they'll pay for them, etc.
NATO allies are scheduled to discuss additional security measures for Eastern Europe at a June summit. As the world focuses on the grim realities of Russia's war against Ukraine, in Naples for a moment, the focus was on peace. Dancers from both Russia and Ukraine danced together on stage in a performance to appeal for peace. The performers included a Ukrainian ballerina who fled the war and a Russian ballerina who quit the Bolshoi Ballet over Russia's invasion. They danced together at a sold-out benefit performance in Naples that featured renowned international dancers. The concert's proceeds went to the Red Cross. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is almost guaranteed to be the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court. She's won enough support from Republicans to put her on the bench. Lauren Blanchard tells us where her confirmation goes now.
Every day we move closer to Judge Jackson's confirmation. The case and likelihood of her confirmation grows stronger and stronger and stronger.
The Senate is moving forward on the confirmation of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is likely just days away from becoming the first black woman to be confirmed as a Supreme Court justice, after 3 Republican senators voted in favor of moving her nomination from the Senate Judiciary Committee to the floor.
The nomination will be placed on the executive calendar.
Republican Senators Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, and Lisa Murkowski joining Democrats. Murkowski said her vote was partly to push back on the politicization of Supreme Court confirmations, which Democrats have criticized Republicans for.
There are some colleagues of mine on the committee who dug into her record, who pressed her on questions, and wanted to get to know her judicial methodology. There's others who, frankly, I thought were just grandstanding for the TV cameras.
But Republicans are quick to point to the personal attacks by Democrats on Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett during their confirmations. And many Republicans say Judge Jackson is too liberal.
Very often we're told, look at her record. So we look at her record. Her record signals things that are, in some instances, troubling.
The Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said he would not vote for Jackson.
In one case, she ignored the plain text of the law to reach a more liberal outcome.
Senate Leader Chuck Schumer said the confirmation vote could come as early as Thursday. Jackson would not be sworn in until Justice Stephen Breyer officially retires at the end of the court term this summer. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The daughter of former President Donald Trump will speak with investigators from the January 6th committee. Ivanka Trump is scheduled to speak to the committee investigating the Capitol Hill riots. The president's oldest daughter was one of the people with the greatest access to the president in the time leading up to the attack. The panel has subpoenaed her phone records. Still ahead tonight, a Texas World War II vet gets a 100th birthday celebration fit for a hero.
I want to thank you people, for coming out here. I really do. Because y'all have made my day. Yes. And made my day and my night too.
How family and friends marked the occasion. Plus, meteorologist Susie Martin joins us ahead with your complete forecast.